Hello and welcome to Her Success Tribe. I'm Rebecca Lockwood, multi-passionate entrepreneur and mindset and business strategist. I am so happy to see you here and hope that you find as much value in these interviews as I do. We speak to women all over the world to understand how they run a successful business with purpose and take away the lessons and tips for you to go away with and implement straight into your business and life with ease. Enjoy. Welcome, Rebecca Hawkes.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have you here because this is like take 2, isn't it? We recorded this once and the sound was completely out. So take 2. This is the first time it's ever happened. So that's can only be a good thing.
Yeah, second time lucky.
So Rebecca Hawkes is a social media strategist for female entrepreneurs. Look, I'll let you take over and explain to us how you work and what you do with your clients.
So there's a few different ways that I can work with people. I do one-off strategy sessions where we discuss the main struggles that someone has with their business, what they want to achieve from social media, and then we put together like a simple strategy so that they can work through it and build their confidence up as they build their presence online. And I but I mostly work with entrepreneurs who are just getting started, or maybe they've had their business for 10 years but they've never done social media. They know that they need to be online but they just feel completely overwhelmed with it. So I like to give them the tips and help them create the strategy that's going to give them the results that they want and the results that they need, but also help build that confidence and teach them a little bit about social media as they go along. And then I've got like a signature program. It's an 8-week program called Reduce Your Overwhelm. And that's for people that have been online for a while, but just feel completely lost and kind of just overwhelmed basically by social media and want that one-to-one like friend there to help support them and help guide them along and teach them various different strategies for the various different results that they want to see. And then I'm also building an online course which is all about content and the content that you need to see results online and to attract your dream clients. So it's basically just putting out the right content to attract the people that you want, without having to be salesy, because selling is something that I am not really that keen on. So I know how difficult it can be to go online and to try and get people to come to you. But I've always been very lucky in the fact that all my content has always attracted clients to me and I've never had to do much selling. So that's what I want to put into this course to help other people do exactly the same thing.
Well, that's amazing. So actually you have been selling, but effortlessly and easily.
Yes.
Because I have this conversation a lot, having a sales background myself, is that you can't not sell in your business because otherwise you don't have a business. If you're not selling something, then you're not. Yeah. So, okay, well, I think that's amazing because I know we've spoke about this before where you've mentioned that there's so much out there for the more in-depth stuff, but for people who are just starting or for people who just want to get their head around certain things, there's not really that much out there available for them. And social media can be so overwhelming, because even for someone like myself who knows about social media and I know what platforms and how they work, going on there and seeing everybody else on there can be quite noisy and overwhelming. So what would be kind of the top tips that you'd give someone then who's just starting out in their business and just coming into the online world?
I'd say focus initially on just one platform. So don't worry about having to be everywhere and do everything. Focus on just one platform. 2, if you've got a lot of time and if you're comfortable with social media anyway. But if you're not and you're very new to it, focus on one and don't focus on the platform that everybody else is on. So everybody might be on Instagram and you might be enjoying Instagram, but your product or your service might actually perform better on Pinterest or Twitter. So just do some research before you get started. figure out where the types of people are that you want to buy your product or your service. Figure out, just do a bit of research and see which platform's the best. So look at your competitors, where are they performing best, where are they getting the most engagement from their potential customers, and then just spend, as much as like 6 months just fully focusing on that one platform until you know what you're doing, you feel confident with it, and then you can then branch out to another one, or you can just stick to that one platform. Like, you don't have to be everywhere. And what your goals are, what you want to achieve, and then have like a big plan, but then break it down into small manageable steps. Because if you look at a big plan and think, I want to get 1,000 followers by, say, 3 months time, that's going to seem really overwhelming, because you're going to be like, how am I going to do that? Like, I've got this goal, but I don't know how to get there. Whereas if you say, I want 1,000 followers, these are the things that I'm going to do. So I'm going to engage every single day. I'm going to post 3 times a week. I'm going to, I don't know, record Insta stories or Facebook Lives, or just be about as much as I can. But if you have those action steps, then you can build it into your calendar almost and say, right, Monday I need to post, Wednesday I need to post, Friday I need to post. And if you're on something like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, you can schedule all your posts. So you could even, at the beginning of the month, plan out everything that you want to do, and then spend 5 to 10 hours just creating and scheduling and planning your content. And once you've scheduled it all, that's it for the month. You don't have to worry about it. You can obviously make sure it's posting and check comments, and then you can just focus on engaging, which is ultimately what's going to build your following the most. So planning, and don't try and be everywhere.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm making so many notes here because I'm going to write this up for people on the blog after. Planning and scheduling, and knowing that you don't have to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
and knowing what your goals are, like knowing what you want to achieve, is always helpful. And if you keep referring that to each day, like if you keep referring back to that each day, you're going to continually feel motivated. You're going to know that you're on the right path, and you're not going to look at what you need to do and think, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. You'll have like your clear goals there, and you'll know exactly what your purpose is.
Yeah. Okay then. So the first thing is then to just focus on one platform, unless you're already really comfortable with social media, then possibly two. Also do your research first. So look at what's already working for your competitors, where they're getting the most engagement. Would you say to ask kind of your dream clients where they hang out?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go along to different Facebook groups, I definitely recommend joining as many Facebook groups as you can, and as many Facebook groups that you want to interact with. Don't just join them all and not be present in there. Like I'd say it's much better to join like 5 to 10 and be really active in there and get to know people and build relationships. And then you can ask in there, if that's where your dream clients are hanging out, you can say like, which platform do you prefer to use? And even which types of content do you prefer to see from whatever your service or brand is. So if you're selling a product, you can say like, do you prefer to see images of it on Pinterest? Do you prefer to read about it from Twitter? Do you prefer just the picture on Instagram? You can ask those sorts of questions, and then just get a really basic spreadsheet and just build up the answers. And then you can have a look at it all together and think, right, this is what people want the most, or choose your top 3 things that people keep repeating, and then just go from there and see what you come out with.
So like the top 3 things that people keep repeating to you, and then kind of focus on that.
Yeah.
That is so valuable and so helpful. So, okay, so if I was to put together my strategy then, so the first thing I'd do is I'd focus on one platform, decide on what that one platform is by doing the research, asking people where they're hanging out, know that I don't have to be everywhere. And then from looking at the top 3 things that people are consistently saying to me, I could then put some goals together and an action plan to then achieve the following and the visibility that I want.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can then break it down, like once you've got those goals there, you can then break them down even more into like just smaller chunks, just that you've got, even if it's like an action step every day or an action step once a week. And then as soon as you've done that, you can just tick it off so that you feel more confident that you're doing what you need to be doing. And I'm a big planner. I love planning things. I love writing lists. And if I've got lists in front of me and I can know that I just need to go tick, 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 it makes it so much easier. And I just feel more productive, and you don't have that sense of overwhelm when you look at something and you go, okay, well, I've got to do this, but what am I doing? How am I doing it? So it's just much more simple.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because that's how I do mine. So I've got like an Asana board. We've got an amazing Asana masterclass in our membership, and that talks you through how to use Asana very simply. And I've just got an Asana board that has just got like a list of, I think, 5 things that I need to do every day to engage on social media. And yeah, once it's done, you feel so much better, don't you, for doing it?
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
you say, like, you don't get overwhelmed by thinking, what have I got to do? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? Because it's there, it's clear, and it's straightforward. So yeah, absolutely love that. Thank you. Yeah. So tell us a bit more about you then. So I think there's more than enough tips for everyone to be going away with that. And you clearly know what you're talking about, and it's going to be super duper helpful for the people who are listening and watching. But you're from the UK.
Yes, I am. I'm from Essex originally.
From Essex, but you don't live in Essex now, do you?
No, I'm living in Honduras at the moment.
So where is
on
that?
a tiny little island. It's Central America, so it's kind of underneath Belize, Mexico, sort of. Yes, not quite South America and not quite North America. But yeah, it's a country here, and I'm living on a little island called Utila. Because my boyfriend's a scuba diver instructor, so he works here diving every day, and I can travel around because I just need my laptop, so it's pretty nice.
So you're literally living like the laptop lifestyle.
Absolutely, yes. And we got back on Monday. We were in Grand Cayman for a week, just on a holiday really, because we had to do a visa run. And yeah, it's so funny because my mum said to me, she'd spoken to the girls in work, and they'd said, like, how am I getting on? What am I doing? Mum was like, oh, she's in Grand Cayman. And they were just like, oh, what's she doing there? Mum went, oh, she's taking a holiday from her travelling.
Taking a holiday from her holiday.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not really travelling, Mum. Like, it's a normal life here. Like, I still have responsibilities. We have an apartment. I have to like live exactly the same as we'd live at home. It's just sometimes a bit nicer weather.
Yeah. So do you have a beach nearby?
Kind of. They're not like big. When you think of the Caribbean, you think of like big white sandy beaches. They're not really like that here. There's 3 man-made beaches, and it's very small. So it's like 20-minute walk from one end of the beach to the other, or one end of the street to the other. But most of it's like docks where the boats are in. So
you only need somewhere to sit though, don't you, with your laptop?
Absolutely.
Okay, so how did that even happen then? So kind of talk me through the steps that you took, because I know that there's so many people that talk about this, and there's so many people that think, oh, I'd love to just go somewhere and see the world and travel, and or be in a different place. But I think there's something that stops them, like fear or excuses or different things. But talk me through, like, what were the steps that you took? Was it like your partner just went, oh, I want to go live there, and you went, or how did it work out?
Pretty much. We've always travelled, so we met when we were travelling anyway. So I've always loved travelling around. And then we'd returned from Australia, and he said that this is something that he wanted to do, and would I go with him? So we lived apart for 18 months. We both moved back in with our parents, and then we just chose a place. We originally booked a flight to Belize because I didn't really fancy Honduras, but once we'd booked our flight to Belize, it turned out that the instructing course that he wanted to do wasn't available. So we ended up coming to Honduras anyway. But then we just kind of saved up a bit. I knew that I wanted to create my own business because I didn't want to go back to bar work. I love bar work, but if he's working during the day, I didn't want to be working nights. So I knew I needed my own business. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do until I was working at the job that I was in before I left, and I took over their social media profiles and found out that I was actually pretty good at it and got them some good results. So then I was just like, well, I might as well do this. I enjoy it. I know what I'm doing. I can get the results. And then I set up a Facebook page and a Twitter profile as just myself. I think the Twitter one was called like Social Media Manager, but just my own handle. And I just began posting out content, and that actually got clients coming to me before I'd even like launched. So then when I came here, it just kind of, in the beginning, I felt a bit overwhelmed by everything, because I was like, okay, well, I'm this businesswoman now. What do I do?
That never goes away though, does it?
No, even now, it's been like
over
a year now, a year and a half.
I'm years into it and it's still the same.
No. But then I just looked into different like courses to kind of help me out and build my own confidence. I signed up for a social media course that's like a monthly subscription that helps, and then the Female Entrepreneur Association. So just things like that, and just began connecting with people. And then as I started working with more people, I actually figured, like, just built my own confidence up and realized that I know what I'm doing, and I just need to ignore the voice that says, what do you think you're doing? You can't do this.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it, how and I've just been recording some videos. We were just talking about this, weren't we? Recording some videos about my journey and the limiting beliefs that I had, and how I now help my clients with that as well. But it's crazy, like, all the things that we tell ourselves, because we'd never speak to our best friends the way that we speak to ourselves. So why do we allow ourselves to speak to ourselves that way, if we wouldn't do it to others? But yeah, so what were the steps that you took then to get over yourself? I always say, like, get out your own way, and to push the ego out of the way. Was that just by just pushing through and just consistently doing it, just keeping doing it, and by getting the results and seeing the results that you were getting, then that boosted your confidence in itself?
Yeah, kind of that. And I've read like a lot of different like mindset books, or I've listened to them on audio book, and every time I sit there and think, I can't do this, I've got like a case study that I put together for a previous client before I started working with them. They wanted to see the results that I'd had, and I sent that to them. And then sometimes I'll just sit there and look at that and be like, well, you've done all of this already. You know that you can do like whatever it is that I couldn't do at the time. I was like, you know that you can do it. You've done it before. There's no reason that you can't do it again. And it's quite funny. The other day I think it was Sunday, I'd had this project for one of my clients that I'd been working on, because I still do social media management on the side as well. And I had this project that I had been trying to do for just over 2 months now, and I just couldn't get started with it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was really stressing about it. And it got to the point where it was like 3 hours before the deadline, and I was just like, I just can't do it. So I sat there on a piece of paper and I wrote out everything that was going on in my head. And I was like, what am I worried about? Why am I worried about this? What's the client expecting? And in my head, I was like, I need to deliver this, all these massive things that I didn't know what I was doing. But then when I broke it down, I was like, actually, all I need to include are these 2 points, and that's it. Like, I've not been given a specific this, and this. I've just been given, you just need to do this one thing. So I was like, well, now I can kind of do it, because I don't have that block there anymore, because it's only in my head that I'm worrying about it. And then within 3 hours, I'd got it done, sent. And the following day, I got a reply from the client saying how pleased they were. And I was like, okay. It's all just my head.
Yeah, it's so crazy, isn't it? Like, how we end up doing that to ourselves. I love journaling, and like, by what you just described there, it sounds so much like what I write down in my journal. And so anytime I ever feel any resistance coming up, I just pull out my journal and I'll just write, and I'll like, why do I feel like that? What is it that's really going on? Is there something a bit deeper? What is actually really the fear here, and what's true and what's not? What can I control? What can't I control? And another thing I've got it on my desk now, is quite similar to your case study thing. So I've got like, every time I do a speaking gig or I've had clients and I've got feedback, I write, when I've done speaking arrangements and like done public speaking, I get people to write a few words on a piece of paper, and then I just put them in this jar. So if I'm ever feeling like, oh, I can't do this, and thankfully I don't need to get it out that often, because I do a lot of work on my mind, but it's there, I think probably because it's there on my desk as a reminder that it's full of all these amazing results that people have got for themselves in their own business.
That's such a good idea.
Really helps. I had one of my clients a few days ago message me saying she's too busy. Like when we first started working together, she was really struggling, she had no clients, and then she sent me a message and said she's too busy now, she doesn't know what to do. She was like, what have you done, Rebecca? I'm too busy, which is an amazing feedback to have, so that always helps, doesn't it? Okay, so you mentioned that you've done a lot of like personal development and reading. What are your favorite business books to read, or any book to read?
Okay, so most of them are audiobooks, but the She Means Business.
Yes, I love Cara Green.
That was brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. The You Are a Badass, the You Are a Badass, and the You Are a Badass with Money, I think it is. Yeah. That really helped in terms of like earning, because money was a big problem that I struggled with as well in the beginning. And then Jack Canfield's How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. I'm like halfway through that.
Yeah, a few people have recommended that, but I've not read that one yet, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, so good. So much like good information and kind of practical tips for you to do at the end of each chapter. So I really like that. Yeah,
I love audiobooks. I love just being able to put them on in the car or when you're just doing things, when you're cleaning around. I think, what am I reading at the moment? I'm reading Gabby Bernstein, The Universe Has Got Your Back for the second time. And then I'm also listening to The 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss.
Oh, okay. I've not listened to
that yet. The way that guy thinks is like just completely on another level. Like he basically just how to be the best at everything in the easiest way possible.
Oh, that's so good.
He's amazing. That's been on my to read list for ages, and I've just started it, and he is like everything he says, it just makes complete sense. And he's fantastic. Okay, so if there was anything else that you want to leave with our listeners, what would it be?
I am doing a free online training. Well, it's more like a Facebook Live, but it's going to be like a webinar, Facebook Live sort of thing, at the end of February. So if anyone wants to sign up to that, that's all about curating content that attracts your dream clients. And it's actually part of the module from my online course. But I want to share it with people, because I think people struggle because they think they have to create all the content. But in actual fact, if you mix it with curated stuff as well, you not only save yourself time, but you can position yourself as a leader in your industry by sharing your thoughts on other people's content that's there. So that's going to be, end of February.
Love the sound of that. Okay, give us a link to that and we'll add that in the show notes. Okay, so just to finish up then, what is the best tip or advice that you'd give to other female entrepreneurs who are just starting out in business?
Ignore the voice in your head that says that you can't do it, and don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Just focus on you. Because as well, this is a big struggle for me. I'd look at so many other people and be like, oh, but this person's doing this and they're doing that. But in actual fact, they might have had their business for 5 years, whereas I was only 3 months in. So don't worry about what anyone else is doing, and ignore the voice that says that you can't do it, because you absolutely can.
Completely love that. Thank you so much. Like I always say, stay in your own lane and don't ever compare the front end of your business, the front end of someone else's business to the back end of your business.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's been so valuable.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the interview today. If you did enjoy it, then please do head over and leave us a review on iTunes and on the Facebook page at Rebecca Lockwood. You can find all the amazing resources to create a business and life with purpose at rebeccalockwood.org.uk/social. And remember that you can make a choice each and every day to show up as the woman that you dream to be. Your time is now. Yes, you can. Have an amazing day, and if you need anything at all from me, head over to the Facebook group and join us, which is the network Her Success Tribe.